Brats, my facial interface has a fan attached to it that cycles air out off my face while I'm playing. But that doesn't mean that a lot of you still aren't asking me about some of these other weird facial interfaces that are out there. Let's open up this new Kiwi one they just sent us. So of course, to have this on here, I can't have my facial interface on here that has the fan. So I'm just gonna set this aside. This is from Kiwi Design, and it's got a very unique look in the picture online. So what they advertise this has is way more ventilation than your typical facial interface. Now, obviously, I'm comparing this to something that has a fan on it, so it may not feel like amazing ventilation to me, but it almost has this like weird razor look. If you look at it from the side there, kind of like a bunch of little shark fins. And what that's doing, there's ventilation on the top and the bottom for this thing. They of course send you a little lens cover, 2 different face pads here. Weirdly, they seem, I thought there'd be a thick and thin. I mean, I guess one is a little more overstuffed than the other because one isn't like wrinkly. They look pretty close. We're gonna try what looks like the slightly thinner one here. Okay, this is new. This is new. Instead of your typical shape looks like this that has the nose part missing, these have a whole little nose piece that's thin and apparently goes all the way in there. So to get this thing installed, I feel like you probably gotta kind of work that nose piece in first and then work the rest on there. So popping it in there feels pretty much like any other facial interface, except you got some really fat padding. Whew, there's a lot of pad there. It actually fits pretty nice, I've got to say. That thicker padding really doesn't allow any light bleed or gap. I can't get my finger in here at all, although tons of light bleed and gap around the nose. That's typical with these kind of things, unless I found this is the only kind that really eliminates the light bleed for me. I could text someone right now from here or drop my other facial interface. There is a lot of vents and I can see that light is coming through them, so there is gonna be passive airflow. It's not active because there's no fan, but it is gonna at least allow some air to flow through there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this away for a minute. I'm gonna go play a few active games and come back real quick and see if this thing is starting to fog up still as quickly as usual, if the airflow is gonna help at all. So I'll be right back. After some testing, it does do better than like your old Kiwi facial interface, the AMVR facial interfaces I used to rock, because it just has a lot more vents, especially if you have like a fan or something blowing on you already. This is gonna allow some of that air to pass through. It is probably the best facial interface that does not have any sort of fan attached, any sort of active cooling. So for that, I will say, if you're looking for one that's just a simple facial interface, I would recommend this. My only thing I don't personally like, the padding is just way too thick for me. If you're using a head strap that's not a halo like the Kiwi Elite, the Oculus, any of those, it's kind of nice to have all this thick padding because it really helps it on your face. But when you have like a halo one and you don't really need that thick, it just kind of feels like it's suffocating your face a little bit. So that's something I would take into account, but there will be a link in the description in case you're interested in this fun shark tooth looking thing that's on here. So thank you for coming out, spending some time here with us today on the channel, and I will see you in another reality. Ba-boom.